Want to get this briefing by email? Here's the sign up. Good evening. Here's the latest. Robin Beck agents France Press, Getty Images 1. The cleanup at the scene of the deadliest mass shooting in modern American history is nearly complete, and all of the dead have now been identified. But investigators still don't know what motivated the gunman. Here's the latest. The 36 women and 22 men who were killed ranged in age from 20 to 67. They were teachers, police officers, secretaries, retirees, from across the United States. These are their stories. Hundreds of people took part in a memorial on Thursday night for Charleston Hartfield, the Las Vegas police officer among them. Above, his son, Isaiah, flanked by his mother, Veronica, and sisters Savannah, Rex features, via Associated Press 2. The board of the Weinstein Company is finalizing a plan to hire an outside lawyer to investigate allegations of sexual harassment by its co-chairman, Harvey Weinstein. A Times investigation published yesterday uncovered allegations against the Hollywood mega-producer dating back 3 decades. Mr. Weinstein has both apologized and denied some of the claims. He will take a leave of absence from the company. A lawyer advising Mr. Weinstein, Lisa Bloom, above, called his actions gross on Good Morning America. Today on our podcast The Daily, our reporters Jody Cantor and Megan Tuay discuss their investigation. Omer Messenger Getty Images 3. In a year in which the threat of nuclear war has seemed to draw closer, the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to an advocacy group behind the first treaty to prohibit nuclear arms. The International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, a Geneva-based coalition of activists, was honored for its role in the talks that led to the treaty, which was reached in July at the United Nations. Above, a recent protest the group held in Germany. You can take a look back at all the past Peace Prize winners on our timeline, which goes all the way to 1901. Ruth Fremson, The New York Times 4. Today in Washington, the Trump administration moved to roll back the federal requirement for employers to include birth control in health insurance plans. And there was more talk about nuclear weapons. The next deadline to certify Iran's compliance with the nuclear deal is October 15, and President Trump is expected to decline to do so. Here are the basics about the deal. Our Washington bureau also tried to figure out what Mr. Trump meant when he called a dinner with military officials to calm before the storm. No luck so far. David J. Phillip, Associated Press 5. The U.S. economy lost 33,000 jobs last month, as the hurricanes apparently took a toll on hiring. It was the first monthly decline in employment in 7 years. But those numbers will probably jump next month, as the recovery effort creates jobs for insurance adjusters, construction workers and others. Above, Harvey's aftermath in Houston. NOAA 6. Tropical storm Nate is heading toward the Gulf Coast after lashing Central America. The storm was blamed for 21 deaths there. Forecasters say it's likely to strengthen into a hurricane before making landfall late Saturday. The National Hurricane Center issued hurricane and storm surge warnings for southeast Louisiana and the Mississippi and Alabama coasts. We're tracking its path here. Brett Seymour, Argo 7. Marine archaeologists excavating a shipwreck dating back to the Roman Empire announced the rare discovery of a bronze sculpture. The artwork, a corroded hand that appeared to be a fragment of a larger sculpture, was buried in sediment 160 feet below the sea surface. It could be a sign that there's more buried treasure waiting to be found. Apple 8. The broccoli emoji you've been waiting for has finally arrived. Apple announced that hundreds of new emojis will be available next week on iPhone and iPad with iOS 11.1. A woman wearing a hijab and a genderless person are also among the updated offerings. Vincent Tullo for the New York Times 9. Our art critic says that if you only followed Western news media, you might think China has only one artist, the famous Ai Weiwei. A new exhibition at the Guggenheim in New York is aiming to change that perception. Art in China After 1989 Theater of the World features work by some 70 Chinese-born artists and collectives. It's the largest American survey of contemporary Chinese art in 20 years. Above, video art by Zhang Peili. The show has already made headlines because of an outcry over works that animal rights activists found objectionable. The museum ultimately removed 3 pieces. 10. Finally, Lin-Manuel Miranda, the Hamilton mastermind, pulled together an all-star lineup for a new benefit single that's been released online. All proceeds will go to hurricane recovery in Puerto Rico. The bilingual song, Almost Like Praying, takes its title and chorus from the famous West Side Story tune, Maria, and features Jennifer Lopez, Gloria Estefan and Luis Fonsi, among others. Above Mark Anthony and Mr. Miranda in the studio, "You can't make yourself responsible for every bad thing happening in the world," Mr. Miranda said in an interview. "But the ones that do hit you, if it's the Virgin Islands, Mexico, the families in Las Vegas, let that manifest action. Have a great weekend, blank." Your evening briefing is posted at 6 p.m. Eastern. And don't miss your morning briefing, posted weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, and your weekend briefing, posted at 6 a.m. Sundays. Want to catch up on past briefings? You can browse them here. If photographs appear out of order, please download the updated New York Times app from iTunes or Google Play. What did you like? What do you want to see here? Let us know at briefing@nytimes.com.